Hello and welcome to another episode of Leaders Lane. I'm your host, Monica Cade. Joining me today is Mike Thompson, CEO of SVI, one of Inc. 5000's fastest growing companies and the driving force behind 𝐸RMobile, a platform transforming how organizations scale learning and development. Mike's leadership journey began in the US Air Force and Air National Guard, where he spent 6 years training teams in adaptability, survival, and evasion. Now a three-time author and thought leader, he's been featured on Fox, ABC, and the Sirius XM. He brings a rare blend of military precision and entrepreneurial innovation to the table. So we're going to talk about AI, being in the military, and lots of other good things today. Mike, welcome to the conversation.
Hey, Monica, good to be here. Thank you.
You've got an interesting leadership background, and I thought maybe we could kick off and you could share a little bit about yourself and how your leadership journey started.
Yeah, it's a long story, and I'll keep it I'll keep it really brief. I hope, but I started in the advertising industry, and I love that industry. That industry really leans into just the creative nature of business, and it was some of the most enjoyable times when you just really try to dive deep into what compels behavior change and emotion, and how do you entertain in such a short period of time. And it was a lot of fun, and I got to work with a lot of great people. But my wife and I lost our first son to leukemia, and that was obviously a really challenging time and just brutal. And it really forces you to reflect deeply. And through that process, you kind of discover new things and you gain new perspectives. And one of those was just like, gosh, I love advertising, but I really need to get into something that is maybe more significant for me at that time. And for me, it was not about selling more product on store shelves. It was really coming alongside of people who were bored with their lives, people who just couldn't wait until they turned 65 so they could quit their jobs and retire. And I thought, gosh, we don't even know if we get tomorrow. And so it mattered so much to me, just the preciousness of life and the fact that tomorrow's not promised and we need to come alive today. And so I did something, probably not the smartest thing in the world, and that was to sell the agency, at least my part of the agency that I had, and jump both feet into people development. This industry called talent development. Never had been in it before, but it didn't matter. There was gonna be no plan B. It was all plan A. And so, I at that moment just tried to figure out how to fly this airplane. And we were in Northwest Arkansas, and the biggest company in the world was right there. And I thought, if we're going to do this the way we want to do it, we have to get that company as a client. And begged and pleaded for business for a couple of years. And finally, the opportunity happened, and we knew we could not screw that opportunity up. And we didn't. From there, it's just been 20 years of learning day in, day out, but it's been a lot of fun.
I relate to so many different parts of what you've touched on, but the first one I'll pick up is the preciousness of life. I
Yeah.
feel like that's something I relate very deeply with. It's something I wake up every day and I think, I have this one day and I don't know what's going to happen. And also the people in my life, I really try to appreciate each moment with them because, like you said, we don't know. We just
Yeah.
have no idea. And it's so easy to fall into the everyday life, and just anticipate everything's always going to be the same. But sometimes it's not. I'm really sorry to hear about your son. And I can't imagine what a tough inner process that would have been. Do you feel like that was the catalyst to you recognizing the preciousness of life, or did you have that before that moment?
Oh gosh, I think I knew it, but I didn't feel it to the depth, without that perspective. My faith is important to me, and that has brought a lot of perspective into my life. But gosh, it probably landed seriously after, we lost our son Blake. One of the things that we discovered is that, we're really not that big of a deal. And we go through life trying to become something or be something or earn something or have the reputation, and you just realize how fragile life is, and how none of us are really that big of a deal. And in a weird kind of way, there's a lot of peace there, a lot of peace. And so the weird thing about losing my son is I learned peace, and through the tragedy, and that's been a great life lesson that has really helped.
Yeah, it's very true. We do all sometimes chase these big dreams and things like that. And it's like when you peel back all of those things, sometimes it's like that piece that you talk about. That's the most important thing, because if you can't have that without all the goals and the achievements, then what's attaining those things worth anyway if you can't
Sure.
be at peace before that, you know?
Yeah, no question.
Yeah. And so you obviously had built your advertising agency and then you decided to sell it. And I loved what you said about how like often people are in a career and then they wait until like, oh, I'm going to quit my job at 65 or whatever, and then pursue the thing that I really, really
Yeah.
love. Talk to me a little bit about the transition, because I know the world, we spoke just before we hit record, is in this state of flux and there's a lot of change, and particularly also with AI. I know
Yeah, for sure.
I'm a copywriter and brand strategist. I know my industry has been affected. So talk to me about the transition period. Were you just all ready to jump in and learn something new, or was it a bit of did it take some time for you to feel comfortable and find your feet transitioning?
No time to feel comfortable and find my, feet. It was uncomfortable from the beginning, but and it's uncomfortable today. I mean, I don't really crave comfort, I guess, and I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but a quote that really meant a lot to me through that transition is a quote by author named Howard Thurman. And Howard Thurman says in one of his books, it says, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive and go do that. Because what the world needs is for people to come alive. And I just thought, really what I want to pursue is significance. I want to come alive in whatever I do. And I think we have God-given desires, and when we don't live out those desires, I think we're missing out on a beautiful life. And so, but not only for me on coming alive, I wanted the people that I was around and the people that I worked with to also come alive, not come up with a career plan or a career path or whatever, but just what makes you come alive and go do that. And there's a lot of different jobs, careers, positions where we can come alive. I don't think it's specific to a role, but you want to be working on those things in whatever role that are really important to you and that you can get excited about. And so, that's really what I pursued, is just what is going to make me come alive and really getting to lock arms with great people doing worthy work that matters is what makes me come alive. And I enjoy that. And I work with organizations and people to help them discover the same thing.
Do you feel that when you first asked yourself that question, it was challenging, or were you very clear when you first asked the question?
Really good question, Monica. I don't know if it was challenging. I think that a lot of times we try to overcomplicate that question. And we try to put our self-consulting hat on and go through objectives and strategy and all of that kind of stuff. And for me, it's just what sounds like fun. What
Mm.
sounds what sounds like it's good, worthy work that I can look back on and I can say, gosh, that was really good time well spent. And I don't know, maybe it's just sitting in the creative space. I think we avoid boredom. And one of the things that I think is important is that we just sit in the quiet spaces at times. I think Stephen King, the writer, he used to say some of the best times of his life is just sitting in the quiet space of life. And you really contemplate some serious things there. And so, to your question, I think we got to be a little bit careful not to try and fill it with internal conversations, but just find that quiet space and get real with yourself and not try to orient towards someone else's idea or what your parents are saying or your friends are saying or whatever, but just like what really matters to me at the very core. and process that in a quiet space, process that prayerfully. And I don't know. So I don't know. It was never complicated, and it was probably never, I don't know what, an intense process. It was just sitting in a quiet space and just really being honest with myself.
I can relate to the quiet space too. I've had the opportunity this week in particular. I've been traveling and I'm by myself and I have more quiet
Yeah.
space and it's been and I've because I've had such a busy period before, it's interesting how at first I was like, oh, this is so nice. And then after a little while, I'm just hearing all the things that need to come to the surface around decisions that I need to make or things I need to get clarity on. But because I haven't had all these other distractions, it's like now they're very loud and not in a destructive way, but they're there for me to process, observe, listen to, that sort of a thing. So I find that taking that time is super valuable. And for me as well, and I don't know about you, but you're a creative person too. I find that's where like the creative ideas surface,
Sure.
and
No
that's
question.
where the best creative ideas come from.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think the challenge that people have that are able to get to those quiet spaces is sometimes there's a very important balance there because you can't sit in it too long.
Mm.
And I also experience people that go to the quiet spaces and they have a hard time getting out of it. And at some point, you got to jump in your Formula One race car and get it into sixth gear. So there's just a time to sit in the quiet space, and then there's a time you may not have all the answers, and there may still be questions, but you've still got to go. You've still got to move. And I think when you've sat in that quiet space and you feel like you've got a decent angle on it, then run, then race. And it's important not to stay in there too long, and it's important to get to work and make it happen.
What's your do you have like a set sort of, I don't want to say schedule because it's not necessarily like scheduling it in, or for some people it might be, but do you have a time of day that you do that, or is it just sort of when it fits into your day?
Good question. I don't know. I think that's a great question. Where it works for me is I don't know that I get to do it every day. I don't
Mm,
think that I do.
mm,
Really, where I get it is will oftentimes work for a few months, and then I'll come home and my wife will say, you know what, it's you probably need to get away, and because she can just see the stress, she can see the emotion, and so I'll take 4 days and I'll just get lost, for those 4 days. And then it's amazing how I'll return just with so much more energy, so much more of a fresh mind, eager, great, a lot more, I'm a lot more patient, just probably better suited to take on the day after I take that break. So probably doesn't happen every day, probably doesn't happen every week, but after 4 months of going hard, I'm probably ready.
yeah, yeah, for sure. That's awesome. Tell me a little bit about the moment before you started Learner Mobile. What was that creative process like, and how did you know like this is what I want to do?
Yeah, I tried a lot of things. I read a lot of things. I created a lot of PowerPoints. I drew out things. I wrote stories, and really just tried to dream. I didn't start with a business plan. I just started to try to see the dream and the vision. And that was a lot of fun. And landed in a direction and leaned into that direction and gained had some wins, according to that dream. And then, in 2008, 2009, the economy just plummeted, and all of a sudden, all of those dreams and the business model that I set up wasn't going to work. And so at that moment, I had to make adjustments. So you hear this thing a lot with creatives. It's like, don't fall in love with your own work too much.
Yeah.
And, I think we've got a dream. We've got a dream, but we also just need to be awake and not always fall in love with our dream when that dream becomes impossible, or whatever. I mean, there's a lot of ways to come alive. And so
Yeah.
in this journey, it started with the dream, and we rode that business model for a while behind that dream. And then due to the tough economy, we had to shift. But we're still to this day doing the exact same mission that we started off doing. We just do it differently today. Kind of. Our mission is we love people, and that's not a throwaway, kind of statement. That we're serious about that. I mean, we do have a deep empathy and love for people. We believe that everyone is worthy, but not everyone is seen. We believe that everyone has potential, but not everyone is grown. We believe that love is a verb and it's our greatest commandment. So that's why we love people by lifting them up through learning. And that was the original vision. That was the original dream. And 20 years later, we're still living that out, but it looks a little bit different. And I think just having that willingness to adjust and shift and change and be adaptable and flexible and smart in your business, and not so rigid that you can't adjust one way or the other to succeed. So as long as you have that dream and you have that mission, just know that there's going to be shifts and adjustments along the way that you're going to have to be willing to make. And that doesn't mean it's bad. It means that it's really, really good. And you're evolving,
Mm,
according to how the world's evolving.
yeah. What was your process like? Because say one of our listeners, they're running a business and maybe they're noticing that they are a little bit rigid in their systems or how their business is operating. And based on whether it was that time or now, like what's your advice for making shifts and adapting in business to the current environment?
Yeah, I think that there's way better people to answer that question than me. But I'll answer it by just, you can't be afraid to fail. Just
Mm,
fail fast. If you're going
mhm.
to fail, just fail fast. And you hear that all the time. And it's easy to say, it's really hard to go through. But if you fail fast, hopefully you've got some good time to recover. The worst thing in the world is to not do anything because you're scared. And I see that so often is people will just wrestle and wrestle and wrestle and wrestle with an idea. And they're just trying to evaluate all the scenarios. And maybe the best people do that. I can't. I don't have that patience. So,
Yeah.
for me, it's just, well, let's try. What's the worst that can happen? And
Mm,
if we screw it up or if it doesn't work out, I'm confident that we have enough grit to recover, and we'll acknowledge it. We'll apply what we learned, and we'll move again.
mm,
Failing fast happens often in our organization, and we've really benefited because of it. So,
mm.
again, I may not be the best person to answer that, but that's, probably the most important thing that we've seen is just the ability to fail fast, learn, and apply it going forward.
I relate to that approach too. I think I'm a bit like that in my own life and business too. When you were talking, it reminded me of a time when I had written a children's book and I was sending it out to publishers. And often we talk about falling in love with your work, and I don't feel like I've had that relationship because I can write something and then I can just put it out there.
Yeah.
But I remember the publishing process. I was like, okay, if a no comes back, for some reason, the image that came in my mind was like a baseball player. So it's like just bat again and like
Yeah.
hit the next
Yeah.
one
That's a
and just
great
go
way.
again.
Great parallel. Great illustration. 100% agree. You're great if you bat 250. So
Mm,
25% of the time you're successful. I think that that's really, really important, especially for entrepreneurs.
yeah, 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 exactly right. And I think that resilience, it helps you build and not taking things so personally, because then it's just like it becomes innate. You grow that muscle as well. Did you find that your experience in the Air Force has contributed to your resilience and your approach in business as well?
Absolutely. The Air Force I really enjoyed the military. I grew a lot through the military. I wouldn't say my military career was a success at all. It was one of my greatest failures, actually. I wanted to I grew up as a military kid. My dad was a pilot. My brother was a pilot. My uncles were pilots. I was going to be the world's greatest fighter pilot. And that was my dream. And I got through school, and I wasn't a very good student, and I didn't have the best grades in the world. And gosh, this was in the early 90s, and they weren't taking very many pilots in that time. And the worst thing in the world happened, and I did not receive a pilot slot. And my brother, my younger brother, who could care less about flying. He gets the 15 Eagle that he gets to fly, the greatest airplane back then. And
Yeah.
gosh, I had a lot of jealousy. And I told him the only way we can do this is if I live vicariously through you. And so my military career took me away from the airplane, and it put me in some really harsh areas like survival and evasion and that kind of stuff. And it's hard. You go through prisoner of war camp, and you've got to be able to deal with the worst conditions. And I hated it. I absolutely hated it. But it was some of the most rewarding, looking back on it, it's some of the most rewarding times because you just learn so much about yourself. And I think it is where I learned grit. It is where I learned how to fail and not just let it destroy me, but to get back up. I think, grit is one of the most important characteristics in leadership today because life ain't easy. And business isn't easy. It's all hard. And those people that have developed that grit, that ability to persevere, have a tendency to, stay standing. And the military certainly, and the failures that I had in the military certainly supported the development of grit. And I lean on it a lot today in the business.
Yeah, it blows my mind the types of trainings and experiences that the military puts people through.
Yeah,
When I've always been fascinated by it since I was a kid, and I'm very interested in like what they go through. And I just sometimes watch it and I'm like, I don't have that, But I'm astounded by the capacity of humans and what we can
sure.
go through, especially when you put in that situation. And it's a lot of it is that inner dialogue that we have with ourselves too.
Yeah, no question.
Yeah, it's interesting. One thing I do relate with the flying, I took up flying 4 years ago. I got my license.
Oh, yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, and I didn't have any flying background. I learned later once I got my license that my grandfather was a
Oh,
pilot,
really?
and I didn't know he passed away, like, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago now, but no one had ever mentioned it growing up, which I thought was interesting.
Really?
But I'll say that flying really taught me resilience for sure, like learning to pilot a plane and going through the study as well. Like mathematics wasn't my strong suit. So the navigation component was just challenging for me. And then I did some theory study last year for my commercial license just so I could learn more.
So you got your
Yeah.
commercial license?
I've got to sit the flight test, but I've
Okay.
done all the theory subjects. We've
Yeah,
got 7
that ain't
subjects
easy.
here. So no, it's not. And I had so many moments where I thought, I don't think I can do this. Like, I don't think I'm smart enough for this. And then I'd have my moment and then go to sleep, wake up the next day
Yeah,
and go again.
that's
But
great.
yeah, it was the first time in my life I felt as an adult where I was failing at things. I wasn't passing necessarily every test or whatever first go. So it was an interesting journey of, self-resilience, like keeping at something
Yeah.
that you love, which I think is important in business as well, So,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's pretty cool. I'm with you. I ended up getting my pilot's license
Hmm.
because the bug was there, and I didn't go the commercial route. I went the aerobatic route, and
Me too. Yeah,
so
keep
did
going.
some air shows and things like that. And this is why I should never have been a pilot, because actually my dad, my brother, and myself, one of the unique factoids is that we've all crashed planes and walked away.
My
And yeah,
goodness.
I know it. So, as much as I loved flying, once I crashed it, and I had another small crash another time, but my wife just said, you know what, we're done flying, and we picked up sailing at that point. The sailboat had the wing, but it was, not 10,000 feet in the air, so
Yeah.
say forget.
What aerobatic plane were you flying?
I flew an extra 300. I don't know if you've heard of that plane or not, but
I do. I know how to
it's
fly a
it's
200.
crazy. You've flown one?
Yeah, I fly one now.
You fly an extra 300 now?
I fly at the 200. My
Wow.
partner has a 200.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's like the love of my life. I've hopped in the 300 once.
Yeah.
it was a bit early on in my flying, so I was like, this is too much power for me
It
where I'm at.
is. It's too much
Yeah,
airplane.
yeah. Even the 200 now, like I find when you're not current, you would understand like you loot the landing, you know how tricky it is landing
Yeah.
those things.
Yeah. Tail dragger. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, beautiful plane.
It is a beautiful plane.
Yeah, awesome. Anyway, I get sidetracked. I get excited talking about flying, but
Yeah. Well, congratulations. That's awesome.
yeah, thank you. Anyway, back to you. So you've got your business and you've been running it for how many years now? 20 years.
20. I think 21
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. What would you say is one of the things, other than having a clear vision, which has remained the same for you the whole time, that has kept you going this whole time?
Well, I think our mission is really, really foundational and important. Without that, I would have given up. It's just too hard. Business is too hard. Running a business is too hard. There was a guy, one of the founders of Google a few years ago, said, "Would you do it again?" And he goes, "No, there's no way I'd do it again." I'm like, "You're a billionaire. I mean, a multi-billionaire. How would you not do it again?" He just says it was just too hard. The cost was too much. And I think that there's a lot of truth there. Unless you have that core mission that really matters, you're not going to be able to stick with it. It's just going to be too hard.
Mm.
For us, it was just having that mission that really mattered from day one and just being committed to it, and we're committed to it to this day. So vision is one thing, but I think, and it certainly directs how we develop our strategy, and certainly helps us identify where we want to go, but the mission keeps us in the game,
Mm.
and it's just about the worthy work. So I would say that. And then the second thing that I would say, it's just the people that you get to work with. The team that we have is just so special to me. I love every one of them. We're a great team. The fact that I get to lock arms with these people and do some of that worthy mission work is one of the greatest joys of my life. So having the people and having the mission probably is what helps us get through the tough times.
What do you think it takes to build a really united team?
A culture. If I was going to say what am I maybe most thankful for, it's our culture. And culture is hard, but culture is so important. I think it was Peter Drucker that said, culture eats strategy for breakfast.
Mhm.
I've seen that to be so true. Strategy is important, but culture is so much more important. And we are really committed to building a high performance culture because we want to win. We want to win not because we're just greedy. We want to win not just because we want to hold the trophy. We want to win because the mission deserves the win. And so for us, building a winning culture is important. And we probably oversimplify it a little bit, but what I think is delivering a winning culture is most cultures are either cultures of accountability or cultures of love or relational cultures or whatever. If you're a culture of accountability, it's pretty rough. I mean, you get feedback all the time, and nothing's ever good enough, and you're constantly getting pushed and pounded and challenged and measured and all of that. And then there's the other side where I would say if on the left hand side of the continuum is accountability, on the right hand side is love, and where it's all about the relationship and it's all about likability, and in that kind of culture accountability cannot exist because don't I thought you liked me, why would you give me that kind of feedback, kind of thing. But I think high performance cultures have this unique ability to do both, to have those high levels of deep relationships among the team and yet still be able to have the tough conversations up, down, sideways, all the way through the organization. So accountability flows in all directions. I'm a sports fan, and one of the people that I probably look to in this example a lot is just Kobe Bryant of the Lakers. I mean, he was so intense at times, but he also was one of the most loving teammates at times. And so when you can have people that can bring the intensity when it's important and when it's necessary to drive performance, and yet at the same time have it not, be tough on the relationship, but rather the relationship is strong. And then I think you've got something really, really special there. And so my team can give me really tough feedback at times. They can say, "Hey, Mike, what happened here? You really blew that." And I crave that. If I'm not getting the feedback, then I start to be concerned.
Hmm.
But I can receive the feedback, I can give the feedback, other people can receive the feedback, and we can still go to happy hour at the end of the day,
Mm.
and have a great time together. So probably a high performance culture, in my opinion, not balances, it doesn't sit in the middle. It can skew to accountability, and then it can also skew to high love at the appropriate
Hmm.
times. And I think the best leaders can navigate that effectively.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like, I mean, in what you've shared with me so far, you're very open to that process, which I think
Sure.
also makes a great leader. Because I think if you can't take feedback from someone, then I guess that then becomes a barrier to your leadership and the company's growth, I imagine, because then people feel like, there's just this little box and we've got to stay
Yeah.
inside this little box.
Right.
How have you cultivated that for yourself? That sort of self awareness? I don't know if you would use that word, or like that leadership presence.
I think we have a strong set of values that we've identified. And at the core of those values is just humility and empathy, just having deep, deep empathy for others and humility for ourselves, checking our egos at the door. Just again, not taking ourselves too seriously. One of my business partners, our CIO and president, Tim Harmon, he kind of had this phrase, look, we don't take ourselves seriously, but we're dead serious about the work. And I think that captures it really, really well. There's a lot of vulnerability, there's a lot of transparency, there's a lot of openness, there's a lot of honesty. Our culture is not for everybody. It's just not. We have turnover. People come into our culture at times and they're like, no way, I can't handle this at all, because feedback does happen all the time.
Mm,
Encouragement, empathy, humility happens all the time, transparency, vulnerability. But you started out this conversation, Monica, talking just about we just want to be real. We want to be real and raw in this podcast. And I think that that's us in our business too. We just want to be real and raw, and we're not trying to fake anybody out, trick anybody, try to get a leg up, but we want to show up eager to get better every day. And it's important to me, it's important to everyone on our team, and therefore we all got to be able to come together, lock arms, and do some extraordinary things. And I think that just demands openness and honesty and empathy all the way through, and that's what our culture is really built on.
I love it. And I love that it is such a values driven thing, because I think then even if you're saying someone comes into the company and then they find that they're not a fit, I think it's great, because then you just keep bringing in the people that are the right fit, and the people can choose for themselves as well.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're exactly right. Not everyone fits. I hate to say that. Not everyone wants to fit into that kind of
Yeah.
culture. And that's disappointing at times, because everybody that comes into the organization, we want them to have an awesome and successful life. But
Mm,
sometimes that just doesn't work out, and we got to be okay with that. And so I think over the years, the ones that have just stayed for 15 years, 16 years, 17 years are the ones that just thrive in the kind of culture. And then there are other people that they show up and they're there for 48 hours, and they're out. I mean, they're gone. They're like, this is crazy. And I just think that that's kind of special. That's kind of
yeah.
special. One of my favorite entrepreneurs is Richard Branson, and
Yeah.
just Virgin. That guy was so crazy, is so crazy, but he had a ridiculous culture, at times, but it
Mm,
worked for what
mm.
Virgin was trying to do. I think our culture too is unique, and I think that that's what makes it special.
Yeah. I love that. That's awesome. Let's talk a little bit about AI.
All right.
It's here. A
Yeah.
lot of people have varying, views on it. Some people hate it, some people love it, some people have a blend of it. What's your feelings about it?
How can you hate it? We embrace it. I'm old enough to where I was around when the internet was just World Wide Web, it was being stood up. And I just remember the same fears, the same exact fears. And rightly so. Rightly so. I mean, there were some unknowns, and we're not really comfortable with unknowns. I think with social media, the same thing happened. There's a lot of unknowns, and social media has been really, really, really good, and social media has been really, really, really bad. At times, but I'd say overall, it's been a good thing, and it's not something you're going to be able to put away.
Yeah.
It's here to stay. I think AI is like that. We can stick our heads in the sand and act like it's not here. And I think that would be a mistake. There are certainly dangers. There are certainly unknowns. There are unknown unknowns. We don't even know what we don't know, with it. But I think it's also an incredible, incredible tool. And I think we got to lean into it and try to understand it and seek to understand it and try to learn about it every day and get better at it every single day and use it for good. And that's what we're doing. I think the biggest thing that we hear is, gosh, it's going to take all the jobs. You hear that. We've been using it heavily for a couple of years now, and it's helped us hire more people. We've actually hired more because of AI. AI is helping us do a lot more work, take care of a lot more clients, build training courses with ridiculous speed, and that's opened up the pipeline of more and more and more work that requires more and more and more people. So it hasn't impacted our our growth of our workforce. We're certainly growing. What it has done is it's changed their jobs. They're no longer having to spend 38 hours in some of the foundational production arenas. They're able to let AI knock that out in 1 hour instead of 30. And then they're able to focus on the experience overall, on the polish, elevating it, putting those final touches on it that are going to send it over the top and make it the most beautiful, award-winning deliverable. So that's been great. The other thing that I think has been great is we're not just kind of adding it on top of Learner Mobile. It is built into every element level of Learner Mobile. So it's threaded through. It's not just generative. It's also helping us make decisions. It's also streamlining processes. And so we're seeing a ton of advantages there. There's a lot of unknowns, but gosh, I'm glad we're in it. I'm glad we're talking about it every single day, because that just helps us be more aware of the potential pitfalls of it and be able to defend against those pitfalls. But it's very, very exciting to me. We want to be careful, but it's very, very exciting, and we're seeing a lot of benefit.
Do you have any, I guess, from experience, advice to business owners who aren't quite sure where to begin with it or feel a little bit overwhelmed by
Yeah.
AI?
Yeah, I'd probably turn that over to our CIO and our senior engineer who's on AI, because they're just in it every single day. I guess what I would say to that is find people to bring onto your team that excel in just the AI of things. People that have a great deal of experience in it, people that have a great deal of interest in it. And we're doing a lot of. Are you familiar with the term skunk works?
No, tell me.
Skunk works is this term that is, these projects that are secret. So like the
Hmm.
stealth bomber in the US started as a skunk works project. Nobody knew about it. It was built, it was created in a warehouse in Missouri. Nobody ever saw it. It only flew out of Missouri. It landed in Missouri. And that was a skunk works project by Boeing. And so we do that too. We start things and we keep them under the cover. We keep them under the tent until we tested it enough to unveil it. You got to have really, really good people that are working under the tents and screwing things up and failing fast until finally you get to the eureka moment. And we've had a few eureka moments in AI. We were one of the first to create what we call source to course, and that is where you can upload any document from anywhere, any kind of format, And within 1 minute, it will turn that into interactive training with knowledge checks and badges and certifications and all of that kind of stuff. It's a huge, huge advantage that we have. Well, that started as 𝐿PD:works, and we stood that up. We saw the benefit of it, stood it up, and our clients absolutely love it. So
Yeah.
I wish I could answer your question better from my perspective. All I can say is we have really good people on our team that know AI and are doing some crazy cool stuff with it. And they're not afraid to fail. They try things and we figure out they didn't work and we fire them, not the people, the project. And we fire the project and the people move on to what does work. So
Yeah.
so I don't know. Maybe that's not a very good answer, Monica, but that's my best answer for it.
Well, what I like about your answer is that, to me, hearing that, if I was a business owner and I had a big team, I would be like, phew, I don't have to be the one that does all the AI stuff and I don't need to have all the answers. And I guess that's with anything in business.
Sure.
We employ different people who are specialists in what they do. And it's just a great way to look at AI. And I think it can alleviate a lot of the stress that some people may have around, like, I just don't know where to begin. And there's so much and there's so many moving parts to this that, like, it becomes too hard. So I think that's a nice way to ease into it for sure.
Yeah, you just said it better than I did. So thank you. That's a great way to.
Team effort. We're bouncing off each other. Well, our interview is coming to a close. Is there any burning wisdom that I haven't asked you about that you'd like to share with our audience?
No, I really appreciate the conversation. It's been really good. The last thing I'd probably say that might be important is just from a training and learning and team building and culture standpoint, I think we've got to realize that today's workforce is different than it was 10 years ago, 5 years ago, certainly 20 years ago. And the organizations that are getting ahead are the ones that are embracing this modern workforce. And what I really, really love about this modern workforce is that they really hone in on everything's convenient for them. How they get access to their music is convenient. How they watch new movies and dramas is convenient through Netflix. How they order food is so convenient through DoorDash and things like that. So they live lives of convenience, and they're going to expect work to be no different. So how we resource them, how we provide tools to them, how we deliver training to them, how we give them the right product information, best tips and tricks, and all of that kind of stuff, you better be able to do that conveniently. And that means you've got to be able to deliver on demand, just in time, bite size, quick in, quick out, support them in the flow of their work or even the flow of their life. And that's the mindset that we've got to bring to our organizations today is how are we equipping our modernized workforce to win the day, not win tomorrow, not win 20 years from now, not win when they turn 65 and leave, but how do they win today? And that means that we've got to make sure that we're delivering things every day, all day, that are going to help them win. And that happens through convenience.
That's a really powerful point. I love that. I feel like I need a highlighter to highlight that bit for our listeners. Well, thank you for sharing all of that with me. Before I let you go, I'd love to do the Leaders Lane sprint, 4 quick fire questions for you. So the first question is, what's one of the best experiences you've had in life?
One of the best experiences that I've had in life. So many. I'd have to say that I love adventure and I love sitting on mountaintops and I love watching sunsets and I love new cultures and meeting different people. But there was a time when I got to go to Nepal. I'd gotten to write a book called The Anywhere Leader, and an organization called Heifer International. This Anywhere Leader was about who are those people that lead and succeed in any environment, whether they have a ton of resources or no resources, whether they're a startup or a mature company, whether they're in Chicago or Rio de Janeiro. Who are those people that no matter where you put them, they succeed? And it resonated with this organization called Heifer International that really supports third world communities, really communities that are ripe with abuse. They don't have any infrastructure and things like that. So they sent me on these book tours to some of these primitive places. One of those places was in the Himalayas of Nepal. And I just got to spend time with those communities and sometimes those quiet spaces and lonely nights. But I learn from just people on the other side of the world. If you ever get a chance to research a group of women in Nepal called the 12 Stones, they're a group of amazing women who have overcome serious abuse and brought serious benefit economic transformation. And so that's probably, there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them. That's one of them.
Wow, that does sound like a pretty profound experience. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that with me. And what or who brings out your best?
I think my family brings out my best. My family holds me, to a good standard, and at the same time, they want me to be at my best, but at the same time, they deliver grace. And when you've got people that support you and know you, or push you to be your best, but also accept all your flaws and give you grace in spite of them, that's really cool. Probably the family.
That's so heartwarming. I'm sure they would love to hear that. You might have to share that
Oh
bit with
yeah.
them. And tell me, what's one thing you'd like to do before you die?
I nothing. I've done it. I've done it. I want to answer that question. I really do. But gosh, it's just been full. It's been really, really full. And I just, I'm rich in the right way. I'm not talking about it monetarily. It's
Yeah.
just full, and it's rich. And so I don't know. I don't really crave for anything. Every
Mm,
day is a beautiful, wonderful day, and I absolutely love what I do. I absolutely love the people I get to do it with. I absolutely love seeing the world. I love the work that we do for our clients and other communities. So I don't know. Bummer of an answer, Monica, but maybe the Cowboys can turn it around or something. The Dallas Cowboys football team, it's full for sure.
yeah, I love that answer. And the reason I love that answer is because it shows me that you're living a life that you love, that is you, and it makes you feel alive. And that's not to say if someone answers, I want to go and do this, it just means right now where you are, you're content. And I feel like that comes back to that peace bit that we spoke about
Yeah.
earlier.
Yeah.
You seem very at peace with your life. That doesn't mean that you don't have challenges and different things like that, but it's like, I think it's a rare thing for people to also just be really content and appreciative of what they have as well.
Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
And my last question for you is, what did you enjoy most about this conversation?
I like the transparency and the real. I don't get to have these kinds of conversations often. Most of the time, it's all business, and there's a lot of personal wrapped up in this, and I think it's a depth of conversation that is appreciated. So thank you so much for getting personal, and to a deeper level of conversation. That was a lot of fun.
Awesome. I had lots of fun too. Thank you for sharing everything that you did. And I will include all of the links in the show notes so our listeners can check out Learner Mobile, check out your books, and get in touch if they so wish to.
Thank you, Monica. And sorry, this sun just creeped in. So I'm sorry about I should have shut those curtains.
No, no need to apologize. It's all perfect.
All right.
Thank you again for joining me, Mike.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one.